Oh, hello everybody. Today for our class we are going to be making these cute little woven Easter baskets. So the supplies you're going to need to get ready are some various colors of construction paper. If you don't have that, plain white's fine. You can always add color to it with something. You're going to need like crayons or oil pastels, a pair of scissors, and some glue, and that's it. So follow along with all my steps. So we're going to start with the brown paper. We're going to fold it in half the long way, or also known as like vertically, and right here is the fold. Okay, so you want to remember that. And we're going to start by drawing a curved line on the corners opposite the fold. I'm actually going to take some black crayon so you can see my lines a little bit better over the colored paper, like that. And now we're going to draw another curved line inside. This is going to be a straight line over, and you're drawing it from the fold, and then you're going to come up and along the inside of that curve, and then there you go, right there. Now I'm going to cut that inside line over in the curve out, and then I'm going to cut the other two curved corners. And now I have a nice Easter basket shape. Now I'm going to fold it back in half, and on that fold I am going to cut straight lines across to the other side, but not all the way. Leave like an inch from the end. So I'm going to do strips all the way down almost, leaving like a half an inch to an inch from the edge. So don't cut it all the way in half. And then when you open it up, you've got slits in it. Now I'm going to take some color sheets of paper. You can do just one, or you can do a couple different ones. I'm going to use a yellow and a pink. And what I'm going to do, because we're going to be weaving with those two papers, I need to cut these papers into strips. So to make it easier, I'm just going to start folding it at the top a little bit. Just a little, with two of those papers on top of each other. And see how I'm folding down a flap? And then I'm going to keep folding inside that flat. You're not going to need that many strips to do the weaving. So I'm going to go down maybe halfway at the most. Then I'll open up the paper and cut on the fold lines that I made with my scissors. Now I'll be left with these strips of paper, and now it's time to take them and weave them onto the basket. Now these strips will be considered the weft, and this part, the basket, is the warp, but also considered the loom, because you always have to weave something on. Now I'm going to start at the bottom, and I'm going to go under and then over each strip. Under and then over, and then, you know, just like that. Now I'm going to flip this over to the back so I can glue that strip down really good. So I flip it, and then I'm just going to put a glue dot, and you could use a glue stick for this too, on that top strip that's not inside the weaving, and then on the bottom strip. Then I can flip it back over. I'm going to leave this little tail here for now until I'm all finished. Now I'm going to do the same thing, except for I'm going to switch opposite what I did last time. So the first time I went under, now I'm going to go over that first strip. See? So I'm always going over and under. It's just I switch which one I do first every time I do it. That's how you get that kind of checkerboard look or that weaving look. If you did it the same every time, if you always started with under, then it wouldn't be right. So you have to alternate how you start it. So I'm going to put glue on those top and the bottom again, and now I'm going to go back to my pink. Again, if you were using just one color, you wouldn't obviously worry about the switching. So now I'm going under the first one, because with the yellow I went over it. And then just continue, under, over, under, over. And now I'll flip it over again to the back so that I can glue those pink ones down. Bit of glue, another little bit dotted glue, flip it back over to finish up. And then for my last yellow one, I'm going to start over the first strip, as you can see, because the pink went under first. So I'm going to take that yellow strip and go over and do the same thing. Now I'm going to start to trim off the bottom pieces that are sticking out of the basket itself with my scissors. Okay, now I'm going to take my green paper to make my Easter grass for inside the basket. So I'm going to put the Easter basket on top of the green paper because I'm going to trace out an area for grass. And I'm going to take my pencil and trace inside where the top of the basket is and a little bit around the handle. So I trace that part first, and then I'm going to come up the sides and trace up about an inch, maybe a little bit more, about however high you want the Easter grass to be, and then make a line at the top where that's going to be cut out. And then you're going to take your scissors and cut out that rectangle shape that you made. So now what I'm doing is I'm going to cut little slits partially down the green rectangle, not all the way off the paper, just like halfway down. What this is called is fringing the paper, and it's going to give it that texture of grass. So I go all the way down just like that. Now I'm going to flip my basket over to the back of the basket, and I'm going to take my glue and put it on the end of the grass that isn't fringed, and then glue that down to the back of the top of the basket like that. And I can use a glue stick for this as well. Then you've got the grass. I can like fold it up and kind of mess with it a little bit to make it, you know, look a little bit more like a grass texture. Now what I do, I took 3 different color papers and I stacked them on top of each other, and I'm going to draw an egg shape. Now if you don't have 3 different colors, just use white. It's whatever you have available. So I'm going to draw the egg shape. I'm just going to draw it on the one, so once I cut through all 3 papers, I'll have 3 different eggs in 3 different colors. So that's what I'm going to do now, is cut through those papers. So now I've got 3 different color eggs, and now I'm going to decorate them. So again, crayons and oil pastel, any of those things will work. I'm just making some polka dots on this yellow paper, but you can do any design that you want for any of your eggs. So I'm going to decorate all 3 before I add them to my basket. Now I'm going to flip my Easter basket over and once again put the glue on the bottom of the eggs on the front part where you see the design, because we're gluing them to the back of the basket behind the grass a little bit. So they'll be poking out of the grass. So again, put the glue where you see the picture and then put it that way in the front. Now I'm going to add little details to my basket. For example, with this red paper, I'm going to create a little bow. You don't have to do that, it's completely up to you. So I will create a bow and then cut it out and glue it onto my basket. So now I'm going to take my bow and I'm going to glue it. You can glue it to the top of the basket, put it in the back of the bow, but you could really put it anywhere you like. And mine's going to stick right on the top. Hope you enjoyed making this basket. Stay tuned for tomorrow's lesson. Have a great day.